All right, everyone, it's time for Vermont News. I'm so glad that this is what my tax money is going towards. When I pay thousands of dollars in Vermont state taxes, this is what it's funding. This makes me very, very happy. Now, the original post, I believe, was actually deleted, but archives are forever. Link in the description, so we'll follow along. This is what the Vermont Department of Health put out the other day on the 28th of August. The language we use matters. Many families and students are getting ready for the new school year. Equity in the classroom is an essential piece of a productive and healthy learning environment. This sounds like a lecture from, that teacher that you hated specifically. When talking about family, it's important to use terms that cover the many versions of what family can look like. Sign up for our monthly health equity newsletter for more tips. Again, I'm glad that my tax money is going to creating this. Inclusive language for families. Use child or kid instead of daughter or son. This is gender neutral and can describe a child who may not be someone's legal son or daughter. If I adopt somebody, let's say that I adopt a kid, I'm going to refer to them as my son or daughter. It would be denigrating if I don't. Oh, this is my kid. No. It's my son or my daughter. It doesn't matter if it's gender neutral. If I've decided to adopt somebody, or let's say I'm somebody's godfather, I'm the godfather, and, the kid enters, my custody because, I don't know, the parent dies or something like that, I'm going to refer to them as my son or daughter. To do anything less is actually very, very denigrating when you think about it. You're just my kid. You're not really my son or my daughter. You're not my biological offspring, so you matter less. That's basically what they're telling people to say. Say family members rather than household members. I've never heard anyone use the latter term, so that one doesn't really matter. Household members. The fuck are you talking about? Not all families live in the same home. Think divorced or incarcerated parents, step-siblings, etc. Still family members. They're still family. What the fuck? How is that not inclusive? It doesn't make any sense. Say family rather than extended family. Often grandparents, aunts, uncles, and cousins are important parts of a core family unit. Well, yeah, but they're not part of the nuclear family. The nuclear family is core. It's like one step removed from you. So a child, a sibling, a parent, something like that. I don't know. Most people don't use the term extended family anyway these days, so I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. This is a hot mess. I'm glad that my taxpayer money was used to create this infographic. Hashtag health equity tip. Yeah, so you're not allowed to call your son your son. Yeah, no, it's just your kid. You're not allowed to call your daughter. It's just a kid. It's got to be gender neutral and stuff like that. You wouldn't believe the number of people who tip me off about this story. This is Vermont. We're a backwater. We're a stretch of mountains and forests in between New York City and Canada. We basically don't exist other than for the purposes of people looking at our trees during leaf peeper season, which comes up in a couple of weeks actually, lots of tourism, and maple syrup. That's basically that. We've got a bunch of cottage industries because no mainline businesses can survive in our state. We have to cater to tourists. What the fuck are you talking about? When I was reading this at first, I was getting news tips about it, right? And people were showing me the actual post, but there was no archive. And I was worried the archive didn't actually exist at all. I was worried that it was, fake news. Turns out it's actually real. Again, archived link in the description. Somebody managed to archive it. Whatever clanker, when I'm sure it was probably a clanker who did it, who archived that, I owe you one. Thank you for the laugh at my state's expense. This is bullshit. It's fucking retarded. Again, let me read the first part. Use child or kid instead of daughter or son. Why? If I adopt a child, they are my daughter or my son. They are going to, if I make that decision, they are to be included in the family as daughter or son. They will be undifferentiated from anyone else in the family. They're not going to be, you're literally saying discriminate against certain people. Well, you've adopted someone, they're just your kid. Okay, well, you know, I don't want to assume anyone's genders. That's probably going to become illegal in Vermont at some point. I am so glad to know that this is the kind of hard-hitting information that my tax dollars fund. I'm so glad about that. You can tell from the smile on my face. I mean, Jesus H. Christ. Family members. Nobody uses the term household members. I've never even heard the term used. What are you talking about? Household members? I don't know. Somebody can tell me. Is that like a thing in some other state? Like it tends to be household members instead of family members? Because usually you just say family members. Household member would be like, okay, you have a friend crashing on your couch. Well, they're not a relative. You may like them a lot. You're letting them crash on the couch or live in the extra bedroom or something like that. That's a household member. They're part of the household, but it's like, you know, it's a crazy uncle or something like that. But it's not necessarily a family member. The two are not even equivalent, and again, I've never heard the term actually used in parlance. Say family rather than extended family. Again, a total non-issue. For the most part, extended family would be like, okay, that's your third cousin or something like that. Well, that's perfectly fine. What the hell is wrong with that? It is extended family. They're not a person that lives with you and dines with you and has regular, you know, interactions with you or something. It's someone who comes over occasionally. They visit or something like that. What's wrong with using the term extended family? God, the state of Vermont is getting weirder and goddamn weirder. Now, a little bit of weirdness goes a long way. I like the fact that the state of Vermont is a little bit on the weird side. I don't want to be normal myself. But I'm not going to, I mean, the fact that my taxpayer money is going to create this post, and they probably paid through the nose to make it because, you know, the astroturfing and all that, probably tens of thousands of dollars were wasted, creating something that only makes our state look bad. I assure you, by the way, everyone out there, here's a pitch for Vermont. While I wouldn't move here, given the chance, it would be a bad idea. We are very friendly to tourists. Don't worry, there is a lot of leftoidism, but our state is still more or less intact. Burlington City Council and Montpelier aside, the rest of the state still maintains sanity, generally speaking. You should come up and do tourism stuff, especially in Woodstock or Rutland. You know, if any clankers come up to Rutland, you know, and swing by, and we'll have a good time, you know. I can provide some booze or something like that. I'm just joking. But the Vermont Department of Health, I mean, I'm reading this. I didn't believe it was real at first. I thought that this was a joke. I mean, I'm seeing people replicate it, but I'm not seeing any link, you know, to a news article. So I'm figuring, okay, well, this is hyperbole. They're just basically shitting on my state. No, it's real. Unfortunately, it's real. Again, link in the description. It is. It actually exists, and it shouldn't. It shouldn't exist. I literally paid for this, unfortunately. My apologies. That's about all. Peace out.